ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता शिविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्द राधा कान्द नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शबानुसुदे देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, Hari Om Tat Sat. So welcome all the devotees for today's Mukundmala Stotra class. We are reciting Stotra 27 today. Namami Narayana Pada Pankajam Karomi Narayana Punjanam Sada Vadami Narayana Nama Nirmalam Smarami Narayana Tattvam Avyayam Namami Narayana Pada Pankajam Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada Vadami Narayana Nama Nirmalam Smarami Narayana Tattvam Avyayam. So, all of you please recite once. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Namami Narayana Padapankajam Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada Badami Narayana Nama Nirmalam Ismarami Narayana Tattvam Abhyayam. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Tarini Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Namami Narayana Padapankajam Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sata Vadami Narayana Nama Nirmalam Smarami Narayana Tattvam Avyayam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Namami Narayana Pada Pankajam. What is meaning of Namami? Pranam, paying obeisances. Of whom? Narayana. Who is Narayana? The Supreme Lord. Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada. We're worshipping Sada. Means 24/7. Not that 1 hour a day, 2 hour a day, or 1 hour a week. No. Sadami. So whatever activities we are doing, we are keeping in center Lord Narayana or Krishna. Vadami Narayana Nama Nirmalam. So what is Vadami means? Speak. Speak about Narayana, about his holy name. And what is the speciality of holy name? The speciality of holy name is that Nama and Nami are non-different. Nama and Nami are non-different. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Vadara. It is said that Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna. Krishna appears in the age of Kali in his holy name. So there is no difference between Nama and Nami. Nama we know, what is that? Nahi Dharma. Yes. Kali Kale Nama Vinu Nahi Aradharma. Without chanting or except chanting of the holy name, there is no other dharma in the Kali Yuga. Nama Vinu Kali Kalin Nahi Aradharma. So what is the dharma of Kali Yuga? Chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Namaiva Kevalam. Kalo Kali Yuga. Kalo Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva Gadarana. So Vadami Narayana Nama Nirmalam. Constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. So paying obeisances to the Lord, okay, worshipping the Lord, and chanting the holy name of the Lord. And what else? Smarami Narayana Tattvam Avyayam. Smarami. Always remember. So these are the 4 instructions given by whom? By Kulashekara. The same instruction is given by Krishna to Arjuna. Isn't it? Same instruction is given by Krishna to Arjuna. Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Same thing is repeating here. Smarami Narayana Tattvam. Same thing is repeated here. So what is our duty in the age of Kali is worshipping the Supreme Lord, paying obeisances unto Him, chanting His holy name, remember Him. Then what will happen? Nirmalam. Free from contamination. Smarami. So at every moment I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayana, I perform worship to Narayana, I recite the pure name of Narayana, and I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayana, because his name, his form, his paraphernalia, and everything related to him is Nirmalam, without any contamination, infallible. And I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayana. Parama Satyam. He is the Param Satya. And are we Param Satya? We are Satya. How? It is relative truth. But he is not relative truth, he is absolute truth. In the material world, everything is relative. Our happiness is relative. Our sadness is relative. Our relationship is relative. Whatever activities we are involved in the material world, everything is relative. Your happiness may not be my happiness. My happiness may not be your happiness. But on the absolute platform, everybody's happiness is same. But in the relative platform, it varies from person to person, from time to time, from circumstances to circumstances. So in the material world, everything is relative for everything. So when you get 100 rupees, you are satisfied. You are happy. But when I get 100 rupees, I am not satisfied. I want 1,000 rupees. Only then I will become happy. It is a relative. But in the absolute sense, when you get Krishna Prem, when I get Krishna Prem, it is the same mood or same enjoyment or same bliss that we are all enjoying. It's all bliss. It's not relative, because we are connected to this absolute truth. So it's an absolute happiness for you, for me, for everybody, because we are connecting to the absolute. So the result is also absolute. But when we are connected to the material world, the result is relative. It may vary from person to person, time to time, and circumstance to circumstance. One may be happy with a small hut, but the other person is not happy with a small hut. He wants a palace. One may be happy with a cycle, but the other person may not be happy with cycle. He wants a high-end car. So everything is in the material world is relative, and we are never satisfied in the material world. We are never satisfied. When we get 10, we want 1,000. When we get 1,000, we want lakh. Then we could. And even after getting so much, the desire keeps increasing. At the same time, no satisfaction. At the same time, the bliss or the happiness keeps decreasing. But when we are connected to the Supreme Lord, our happiness keeps increasing. Every day, when we see the Supreme Lord, when we hear His Katha, when we chant His name with sincerity, with pure consciousness, without any contamination, our bliss increasing. Ananda Mudi Vardhanam. Okay? We have satisfaction at the same time. We are not satiated. We want more and more. Every day we have a special flavor in seeing the Lord. Every day we appreciate. It's not that yesterday also I saw Lord Ranganatha or Lord Guru Ayyappa or Lord Vishnu. Today I am seeing the same. No, I don't want to. What is the point? Every day when we see, we want to see more because our happiness or bliss increases by every day. His beauty is increasing. His beauty keeps increasing, and that's why we want to see the same deity more and more every day. Okay. Why we are not having the happiness? Because we are still contaminated. That's why we don't feel like again and again going because of our contamination. When our contamination is totally cleansed, then our bliss, ananda, will keep increasing. But whatever jada padartha, the material objects, we try to enjoy. There we don't get satisfaction. At the same time, our happiness keeps decreasing. It's a principle of reduction. There, it's a principle of increment. Anything related to Krishna, anything related to spirituality, our bliss or happiness keeps increasing. Anything related to material activity, that keeps decreasing and we are never satisfied. So here, Kulashekara Alvar is giving us 4 instruction, which Lord Krishna told Arjuna, the same thing, 4 thing. Again, I'll read. Namami Narayana Pada Pangajam. Paying obeisances and worshipping him. And Vadami is what is Vadami? Speaking or chanting the holy name of the Lord and remembrance. So this is what his instruction is. So if you do this sincerely, so if you have to do this sincerely, we have to cleanse our consciousness. Only then we can be sincere. Now our heart is contaminated, okay, with anarthas. So we have to clean it. How we can clean it? By chanting the holy name of the Lord. When everything is pure, heart is pure, our consciousness is pure, then we will be able to enjoy the bliss. Every day, I want to see the form of the Supreme Lord. I want to interact with him. I want to chant his name. I want to worship him. Because every day I am getting newer and newer happiness or bliss. At the same time, how much ever we indulge in material activities, sensual activities, we are never satisfied. And at the same time, we get fed up. We get bored, chewing the chewed. Okay, you like rasgulla? Yes. When you eat one, you are very happy. And I give you second one, happy. Third one, happy. Fourth one, fifth one, when I compel you, then you become embarrassed. I don't want. Okay, happiness decrease. The more you get, happiness decrease. Okay, money, when I get 10 rupees, I want 100, then 1,000, then, the demand and desire increases, but then problems and happiness decreases. Problem and happiness decreases. So anything related to material, we are never satisfied, and the bliss and happiness keeps decreasing. Anything related to spirituality, when we are sincere, when we are not in contaminated stage. We are always satisfied and we want to have more and more bliss. So every day the bliss increases. That's why it is said Anandamudi Vardhanam. I want to see the same Lord again and again. I want to chant the same holy name again and again. But the same Rasgulla, I don't want the second day, third day, fourth day. I'm fed up. I don't want to even see if I'm served the same Rasgulla every day, same idli sambar every day. If I'm doing, I don't want. You get fed up, isn't it? But the same Lord we are going to see every day. The same Nama we are chanting. And I'm having a blissful time. Okay, my bliss or happiness keeps increasing. So when will that happen? When our hearts are cleansed. Otherwise, again, here also, we'll think that, oh, why I should see? I saw the Lord yesterday. Why we feel? Because we are having lot of kalmasha in our heart. Once that is cleansed, then our pure relationship is re-established with the Supreme Lord. Then in Seva, we are getting newer and newer realization and happiness keeps increasing every day. So at every moment, I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayana. I perform worship to Narayana. I recite the pure name of Narayana and I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayana. So everything in this material world is fallible, temporary. Everything that is in the spiritual world that is related to the Supreme Lord is infallible, eternal, ever increasing. So one may wonder, is this an exaggeration or perhaps an expression of wishful thinking? So some people, this may be an exaggeration. Is it really true? The answer is no. This verse describes the practical experience of King Kulashekara, a pure devotee. He is a Shuddha Bhakta. He is experiencing the bliss while doing these spiritual activities. Whereas we cannot experience why we have not become pure. We are still impure, contaminated with material desires, thinking that we will get more happy in material things or material enjoyment. So moreover, such absorption in various services to the Lord is possible not only for King Kulashekara, but for all sincere devotees. So what is the qualification required? We have to become sincere devotees. If you are sincere devotees, the same happiness, same experiences we will also feel. What Kulashekara Alvar is feeling. Such 24-hour engagement in the Lord's service is rarely possible at once, but we can take encouragement from Lord Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita 12.9. If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop the desire to attain me. So in Bhagavad Gita 12.9, 12.8 onwards, okay, Lord Krishna says, if you cannot do this, do that. If you cannot do that, do the other one. Like that, he says. So according to the consciousness level of people, we are supposed to do certain thing. So here in 12.9, he's telling, what he's telling? Okay. We read 12.9. So, Ada chittam samadhatum nasaknosi mayi stiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichaptum dhananjaya. Okay. If you are unable to fix your mind steadily on me, O Arjuna, then practice remembering me with devotion while constantly restraining the mind from worldly affairs. So he's giving option. If you cannot do that, do this. First, he's telling, fix your mind on me. You will always be with me. But if you cannot do that, you do this. So that is what 12.9 says. If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, it is here only. If you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. Follow the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. If you cannot fix your mind 24 hours on me, then what we have to do? Follow the regulative principles. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Slowly and gradually, you will be trained to fix your mind on me 24 hours a day. In this way, develop the desire to attain me. So, what is the ultimate goal of life? To attain Krishna Prema. Attaining him means to attain Krishna Prema. So, King Kulashekara first states Namami. I offer obeisances. Namami Isharam. Okay. In the Damodarsham, Namami Isharam. Namami Isharam. The obeisances to that Ishara, to that Supreme Controller. This refers to bowing down. 1 second. This refers to bowing down to the Lord physically and mentally. Vandana Mataji, your photo, your ulta.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, because oh sorry, I kept the phone like this.
Still like that only.
Okay.
Okay.
Now
So
it is-
this refers to
it
bowing
will
down.
come like this, Prabhuji, because I'm joining on phone. Okay, I'll close my.
Okay. So this refers to bowing down to the Lord physically and mentally. Thus, praying to him with one's whole being to be placed, as Lord Chaitanya said, as an atom at his lotus feet. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Sishtastakam. What is that sloga? Vinastumam. What is that? I forgot. Narmam hata karatu. What is that?
आश्लिष्य वा पादरदं पुनस्तु माम्
Adarsanam.
अदृशं वर्महदं करोतु
Yatha tatha.
भावितसादनिं पदो
Matra.
मत्प्राणनादस्तु
So that is what Lord Chaitanya said. Make me an atom at the lotus feet of. Okay. We offer obeisance because we recognize the inconceivable greatness of the Supreme Lord. And we beg for awareness of our own tininess and dependence on him. So we are infinitesimal. Lord is infinite. We are just a particle of the sun rays that is emanating from the sun. If sun is Supreme Lord, we are just the particle of that sun rays, one ray. And this ray is dependent on the sun. Similarly, we are also part and parcel of Supreme Lord. We are dependent on the Supreme Whole, Supreme Lord Krishna. In addition to following the relative principles of devotional service, we should take time regularly to go beyond the mechanical activity of religious duties, beyond all the relative roles we may play with our family and in our religious institution, and try to recall that we are actually eternal servants of the Supreme Lord and of all living beings. Okay, so we should understand our exact position. We are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and we are totally dependent on him. We are eternal servants of the Supreme Lord and all the living beings. Okay. How all living beings? They're all interdependent. No one is independent except the Supreme Lord. He is Swarat. In Bhagavatam it is said he is Swarat. Okay. But we are dependent and we are interdependent on other living entities also. So the preacher of Krishna consciousness should offer mental obeisances to the recipients of the message of Lord Chaitanya, recipients of this message. Lord Chaitanya advised his followers, Yare Deka, Tare Kaha, Krishna Upadesha. So whenever he went, especially to the South Indian Yatra, whomsoever he met, he said this, Yare Deka, Tare Kaho, Krishna Upadesha. That is the highest welfare activity one can do. Highest welfare activity is to make others Krishna consciousness, not to give food or shelter or clothing or money or something else. That's good. On a bodily platform, it is required. But real welfare activity is to make one Krishna consciousness so that he will not come back again to this material world in search of food, shelter and clothing. So food, shelter and clothing is temporary. We are helping them temporarily. But if you give Krishna consciousness, we are helping them eternally. We are helping them to reach the supreme abode so that he never comes back to this material world in search of the material happiness. And then if we are not fulfilling the material happiness because we don't have the required things to live here happily, then we go and knock door to door. We want money, we want food, we want this, we want that. So in our Krishna consciousness movement, we are teaching our followers to chant the Hare Krishna mantra continuously on beats. Even those who are not accustomed to practice are advised to chant at least 16 rounds on beats so they may be trained. Sada means always. Ardas Thakura says, Nirandara Nama Lao. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra without stopping. Even when we are engaged in other activities, we should remember Lord Krishna by chanting his holy name, at least at the back of the mind, at least softly, at least remembering him, keep him in the center of all our activities. That becomes Krishna conscious. So it's not a separate endeavor. Even when we are in our regular duties, material duties, we can still remember him in our mind. So to chant all the time, one has to follow Lord Chaitanya's way. To think oneself lower than the straw in the street, for all respects to others. Pranadapi sunichena tarorapi saishunam amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So when we consider ourselves humbler than the grass and more tolerant than the tree, then only we can chant the holy name without any offense and giving respects to others, not expecting respect from others. So that is the mood that we should carry to chant the holy name of offenseless way. So in this way, one combines reciting the Lord's names and offering obeisances. A person who does not offer respects to God and all God's creatures, who is proud of his material acquisitions, cannot call upon the Lord sincerely. If you are proud, if you are arrogant, then we cannot call the Lord's name sincerely. So we have to be very, very humble. Only in that state of mind we can chant the holy name of the Lord. Even if he does occasionally chant the holy names, the Lord's name, he does so with complacency. A devotee who realizes his actual situation of dependence on Krishna calls on the name of the Lord the way a child calls upon his mother. So devotee should call the name of Lord, just like how a small child is helplessly calling out his mother for help. When something goes wrong, when something happens, the child calls the mother like anything. Immediately the mother leaves everything and attends the child. Like that, the child will cry and scream. Similarly, we should cry so sincerely that Lord should come. Lord will. Just like Draupadi's call. Desperate call. No other way, no other hope. You are the only hope. So immediately Krishna came there in the form of sari to help her. Similarly, our call also should be like that. Why we cannot call like that? Because we are not adequately frustrated in this material world. Prabhupada says that we are not adequately frustrated in this material world. That's why we cannot call like Draupadi is called. And we still think that I can save myself
Manage it. Yes, yes, Prabhu. We
with
think
my.
we can do things to rectify things.
I can manage myself with my money, with my power, with my strength, with my influence, with my relatives. I rely upon myself. I can fall back. I have so many people or things to fall back upon. No, who will help me? But these are all very temporary. Draupadi also did the same thing. She thought that Bhishma Pitamaha will help. Dronacharya, Pancha Pandavas, my husband, very, very strong husbands I have. They will help me, but none could help her. So at last she has to depend upon Lord Krishna only. He only could help. It's not that we have to be, what do you call, just sit and leave everything to Lord. We have to put in our effort definitely. But then ultimately, we should know that He is the doer, He is a controller, and He only can help. Without His sanction, nobody can help. So He is only the independent Lord. We are all dependent. We have to take shelter of Him. If we take shelter of Him sincerely, and if our crying is sincere, He will attend. If the crying is coming from lips, then He will not come. He should come from the heart. So, and as stated in the previous verses, such a chanted tastes unprecedented nectar in the holy name. King Kulashekara also reflects on the infallible truth of Narayana. The conclusion, Siddhanta, concerning the science of Supreme Personality of Godhead, is received from the scriptures, from the Guru, and from the authorized sadhus. So, from where do we get the conclusion, the Siddhanta? Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. This is what we have learned. And King Kulashekara is also telling the same thing. The conclusion, Siddhanta, concerning the science of Supreme Personality of Godhead, received from the scriptures, Shastra, Guru, and Sadhu. So, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. One should regularly.
GSS, Prabhu.
Yes, GSS. Not GPS, GSS. One should regularly read and hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and similar Vaishnava works. And one should also hear realized devotees explain them. So, Prabhupada has given or recommended Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and similar Vaishnava works. Don't read anything and everything. It will only confuse us. We have only limited time. They say that we'll live 100 years. There's no guarantee. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or even 10, 20 also. Anytime we can live. So our period is very limited. Don't try to poke the nose in each and every scriptures, because it is not possible for us to read and understand in this lifetime. So Acharyas have recommended us to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and such authorized Vaishnava works. Otherwise, we are simply wasting our time. We are going to confuse ourselves. So they have read everything, understood the Siddhanta of all the literatures, and recommended these for us. Just follow their footsteps. No, I will read all the Upanishads, I will read all the Purana, I will read all other literature. Then I will decide what to do. Is it possible?
Prabhuji, Srimad Bhagavatam itself, we are not able to finish properly.
So when Prabhupada has made everything in a laddu form and even he has placed it in our mouth, why not avail that? Why not relish that? We don't have to go to market to buy the ingredients. We don't have to, mix it, process it, and make it, then eat. Just everything is ready made. He has made the laddu and he has put in our mouth, and we have to just chew it. That's it, and relish it. But no, I don't. I will make myself. I'll go to the market, buy the ingredients, and I'll see the YouTube how to make it, and I'll spend time. And at the end of the day, you are going to get even worst of that. Because when the acharyas gives, it will be the perfect laddu, perfect taste. When we are doing trial and error method, it may come out nice or it may not. We don't know. So why do we waste time when everything is readily available? Okay, so acharyas, they have understood the real siddhanta that we are supposed to follow in the age of Kali. There are different paths, different methods, different siddhanta. We don't have time to analyze everything and choose what is good for us. The acharyas have done that for us. So they are recommending, read this and make your life perfect. So follow in the footsteps of acharyas. Mahajano enakathasa pantha. Follow in the footsteps of acharyas. That's what is required. So these practices are included in the ninefold process of devoted service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Devadanam. Prahlad Maharaj describes in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.23. So, whether one performs the activities Kulashekara mentions here or adds the ones Prahlad Maharaj recommends, praying, worshipping the deity, becoming the Lord's friend, and so on, one can move from one activity to another, from one thought to another, and yet stay within the internal spiritual energy of Lord Narayana. So whether it is an instruction given by Prahlad Maharaj or King Kulashekara or any acharyas of the authentic Sampradaya, we are on the right path. We are on the right path. We are not misguided. But if we are taking the instruction or trying to take the instruction from different sources, unauthorized sources, we are confusing ourselves and we are spoiling this rare human form of life. Rarely achieved. Durlabham Manusham Janma. That's what Prahlad Maharaj. This Janma, this human birth is very, very rare. Durlabham. So why to waste that? We don't know. Now, if you spoil this life, human life, if you waste this human life, we don't know when we are going to get another human form of life. There's no guarantee because we don't know what is in our store. Karma, what karma, whether satkarma or dushkarma, whether it is a human body or animal body or a plant body or aquatic body, we don't know. So, whether one performs the activities King Kulashekara mentions here or adds the ones Prahlad Maharaj recommends, praying, worshipping the deity, becoming the Lord's friend, and so on, one can move from one activity to another, from one thought to another, and yet stay within the internal spiritual energy of Lord Narayana. Such a fully Krishna conscious devotee will transfer at the time of death the spiritual world, where he will render the further services in the blissful company of Lord and his intimate association. So if we can live a life fruitfully as per Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, then it is guaranteed that at the end of this life, we'll get transferred to the spiritual world where we can intimately connect ourselves to the Supreme Lord and please Him by serving according to our capacity and thereby live a blissful life there without any anxiety. With the Lord and His intimate associates. So this is what Kulashekara Alvar has to say. So Lord Krishna also says this to Arjuna. What is it? Yam yam vapis maran bhavam tyajadande kalaivaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavita. Anta kalecha mama eva smaran muktva kalaivaram Yat prayatasi madbhavam yati nasyatra samsaya. So, in order for us to remember him at the time of leaving our body, we have to practice Krishna consciousness, especially the ninefold path, Navavidha Bhakti. Prahlad Maharaj has recommended, or Kulashekar Alvar has recommended the 4 items in the sloka, or Lord Krishna is recommended to Arjuna, Manmana Bhavmat Bhakto, Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru, Mam Evasi Satyam Te, Pradijane Priyosim. So all same, all same. There is no difference. The instructions of the Guru, Sadhu, Shastra are all same. Just simply following that, we can go back home, back to Godhead. Don't try to extend our material life, material comfort. It is going to give only problems more and more, nothing else. The more we delay, the more we have to undergo miseries. The earlier, better. So sincerely practice Krishna consciousness, so that in this life itself, we all can go back home, back to Godhead, to get the association of Supreme Lord and his intimate associates. Okay. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpada rubhesya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Okay, Sachi Mataji and Prince Prabhu, you have not recited the sloka. You can recite the sloka, then we'll close.
Yes, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu, I got a call in the mobile, so I had to disconnect in the mobile. That's why.
No problem. Please recite now.
नमामि नारायणपादपङ्कजं करोमि नारायणपूजनं सदा वदामि नारायणनामनिर्मलं स्मरामि नारायणतत्त्वमव्ययम्.
Very good. Prince Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. नमामि नारायण पदपङ्कजं करोमि नारायण पूजनं सदा वदामि नारायण नाम निर्मलं स्मरामि नारायण तत्त्वम् अव्ययम्.
Okay. I'll read the translation and conclude it. At every
Translation.
moment, I bow down to the lotus feet of Narayana. I perform worship to Narayana. I recite the pure name of Narayana, and I reflect on the infallible truth of Narayana. Okay. Same instruction Krishna has given to Arjuna in 934 and 1865. Manmana Bhavmat Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskar. Same instruction. Okay. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhesya, Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, गो प्रेमानंद हरि।